Introducing the host of your show, the one and only, Castillo.
Hey you guys, thank you and thank you for tuning in on another segment of the Castillo show. Today is a very special day because it marks the 10th anniversary of the show. Today, instead of talking about bochinches and novelas as we usually do, we're going to be taking an educational tangent and talking about the book A Brilliant Solution, Inventing the American Constitution, written by Carl Perkins. We'll be having a few special guests come today and talk to us about the book. And to introduce our first guest, he is a world-famous book critic, and he goes by the name of Mr. Bruce Wayne. I have two questions for you concerning the book. What would you say your overall opinion would be on the book?
My overall opinion of the book would have to be that Carl Perkins wrote the book very well. It allows us to fully understand what he was trying to portray during the American Revolution.
I like your answer. The other question would be, what would you say your favorite chapter would be?
My favorite chapter of the book would have to be chapter 1, simply because it lays down the groundwork for the rest of the book and allows us to understand the negative and positive aspects of the American Revolution. The positive aspect being the fact that they finally gained their independence and freedom that they've been fighting so hard for. And the negative aspect is that they lost their contacts and connections regarding their economic opportunities, so they weren't as wealthy as they were.
What a brilliant answer.
Thank you.
To introduce our second guest, he's a very old friend of mine. We go way back. He's a very famous filmmaker, and he goes by the name of El Gordon. I have two questions concerning the book and your documentary. Why did you want to make this book a documentary?
Well, I wanted to portray what Carl Perkins was talking about, but I also wanted to put my own little twist on it, so I felt the way that I could put my twist on it was through turning it into a video, turning it into a documentary for people to view.
Thank you. The other question is, what did you emphasize most in your documentary about this book?
Well, I feel that I emphasized how communication was. They had technology in this time period, but it wasn't as advanced as how it is now. They didn't have iPhones and Androids and things along those lines. They had letters, and if you turn with me to page 116, I believe, it specifically says, on July 31st, Thomas Jefferson wrote from Paris to John Adams. So I used that and any other form of communication in the book to give my documentary a very vintage feel.
Brilliant answer. And to introduce our third and final guest, he himself, live and in person on the set, our very own Carl Perkins. It's taken a long time, so one question. What made you write this book?
Well, if you know my history, and if you know the type of background that I have, you would know that I am the presidential professor of New York at Baruch College, in the history department, of course. So because of that, I have a very big love for history. And because of that love, I wanted to give the American people the actual reason as to why I wrote this book, which would lead to understand the Constitution.
Looks like you have time for a viewer question. This question is from Keith Fagan in New York. Do you handle your business?
Anybody need more time?
Whoa, security, please handle this man.
Well, yes, Mr. Keith Fagan, I do handle my business. And you want to know why? I am a grown man.